Okay, so fun math fact of the day, and actually, you know what? I'm going to type this out. So, um, if you have multiple shapes, so any shape with the same perimeter, the one with the largest area will be a circle. Okay, so this is an interesting fact for you guys. If I have 3 feet of rope, so if I have 3 feet of rope, and I make a square with that 3 feet, or a triangle, or a rectangle, octagon, hexagon, whatever it might be, the areas will actually all be different, even though the perimeter is all the same. But the one with the biggest area will be a circle. Very good geometry fact for you guys. So just an interesting fact to share. Circles are the most efficient use of perimeters. Okay. All right, so today we are covering 4.1 and 4.2, surface area of a cylinder and volume of a cylinder. And we've actually done some of these things already. And all we're doing is we're adding in the area of a circle equation into each one of those items. Okay, so pause the video as needed to copy this down. 4.1, 4.2, page 49. You will have these notes on March 20th, Monday, March 20th. After this section, we're only going to have, I think, a half day worth of notes left, and then we'll review on that same half day. So we'll do this Monday, we'll review Wednesday, and we'll test Friday. So it's going to be a quick week. All right, so surface area of a cylinder. How can you calculate the surface area of a cylinder? Okay, I keep putting this on there because you need to know what diameter and radius is. 2 radius equals 1 diameter. We use this already a bunch of times, and a lot of the times you guys don't even notice that this is here, and what a diameter is, what a radius is, okay, what the circumference is. You need this information, okay? Now, this shape here is in your 4.1 lab sheet. It was in the bottom of your 3.4 lab sheet that you cut out in class on Thursday, today, the 16th. So what this thing is called is, if you don't remember, this is a net, okay? It's a net of a cylinder, okay? A net of a cylinder. So what that means is if you cut open a cylinder and you fillet it and you lay it all flat, this is all the surface area. If you think about a can, maybe a can of, I don't know, a can of corn, a can of beans, a can of chili, a soup can. If you cut it out, this is the top, this is the bottom, and this would be the label that goes across the sides. Okay, so this is the net of a cylinder, and it represents the entire surface area of a cylinder. We've done this before, nets of cubes, and they look very, very similar. And the net of a cube or net of a square, the only difference is this is a square, this is a rectangle, but now it's a circle. Okay, so I need to find the area of these of a surface area of a cylinder. So I need to find the area of the base. So area of base, area of base. Okay, I need to do it twice, in fact, because I have a top and I have a bottom. Oops. So I have a top base and I have a bottom base. So I need 2 area of bases, and I need this lateral surface area. This lateral surface area, okay, is the same equation as it is with a prism, because a cylinder is a type of prism. It's a geometric shape that's repeated over and over again. Okay, so the area of your lateral surface area, lateral surface area, surface area. Okay, this is the lateral surface area. That's this section here, and it's made up of 2 parts. Okay, this is the height. Okay, this here is the height from here to here. Height, H-E-I-G-H-T, and this is not the width. Okay, we're not going to call this the width. This actually is the perimeter of the base. Perimeter of base. Okay, actually I'm changing that. Okay, the perimeter of the base, because it's a circle, it has a very specific name. The perimeter of the base from one end to the next is actually called the circumference. Okay, That's the circumference from one end to the next. Okay, from this end to this end. That's the circumference of the base. Circumference, I'm gonna write it as a statement. Circumference of base. Okay, circumference of base. All right, this is the height. This is the area of the base. Okay, and I'm gonna write out all of our equations here. Okay, so I cleaned up the writing a little bit. So I have the area of the base, and we know the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. I have to do that twice. Once for the bottom, once for the top. And here the circumference of the base is pi times radius square. Pi times 2 radiuses, and the height is just the height here. So let's start calculating. Okay, so this top one I'll do in red ink. I have 3.14 times radius squared. My radius is going to be halfway. 1, 2, 3. That's halfway times 3 squared. That's going to be the same for the bottom. Okay, so let's calculate that. Let's calculate that. Which equals 28.26. 28.26. And I have the same thing down here. So I have 3.14 times 3 squared, or radius squared. Oops, that's really ugly. 3.14 times 3 squared equals 28.26. That's 2 of them. So that's the top, that's the bottom. The circumference is going to be pi times 2 radius. 3.14 times 2 times the radius, which is 3. Now this is different than this. So this equation should be 3.14 times 6. This is 3.14 times 9. So 3.14 times 6 equals 18.84. Okay, so 18.84, that is our length from this end to this end. Okay, now to find 18.84, to find the area of this lateral surface area, to find the area of this whole section, okay, I have to do length times width, or circumference times height. So this is the length from end to end. I have 18.84 times the height, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4. Okay, 18.84 is this way. 18.84. Okay, this is 4. So I have 18.84 times 4. 18.84 times 4, which equals 75.36. 75.36. Okay, now I'm going to add these 3 pieces up together. Plus 28.26 plus 28.26 gives me a total area of 131. So total area equals 131.88 centimeters squared. Again, that's base plus lateral surface area. Okay, this 75.36, that's the area of this rectangular section. 4 times 18.84. 4 times 18.84. Okay. All right, so that's 4.1 surface area of a cylinder. We'll do some more practice in class so we can see what this looks like with a few more examples, actually quite a few more examples. 4.2, volume of a cylinder. You guys have been doing this a ton because you're trying to figure out how many M&Ms are inside that cylinder, trying to win those M&Ms. Okay, so how can you calculate the volume of a cylinder? How is the procedure similar to calculating the volume of a prism? Okay, so the volume of a prism, okay, wrong picture. That's the right picture. So I know it's difficult to draw this. So what I would do is I'm going to draw a cylinder, okay, and by doing that, I'm going to draw the bottom like this and call this my base. Okay, and then I'm just going to have lines that go straight up. Okay, go straight up. And this should be the same oval shape over there. That's my cylinder. Okay, I'm going to label this. Okay, so it's okay if it's not pretty. Yours will probably be prettier than mine. Okay, so when you look at this, you need to find the area of a base. So area of base. Okay, now that is shown by this image here. How many items are on the bottom? Do you know how to find the area of the base? You should know how to find the area of the base because we just did it here. So here's our equation, area of the base. Okay, I'll copy this equation and I'll put it over here. Okay, area of the base is pi times radius squared. So area of the base, and then I multiply it by the height. Okay, so this is my height from here to here. This is my height. Okay, that's how many layers you have. Those are your layers. Okay, that's this part. Layers. How many layers of the bases are you putting in there? This is the number of M&Ms on the bottom. This is how many layers of M&Ms you see. Okay, so this is looking at the side. This is looking at the bottom. Okay, so let me clean this up a little bit for you guys so it makes a little more sense. Okay, so here it is. Here's the area of the base. I'll type that out really quick. Area of the base. Okay, and the area of the base is right here. Okay, that's my equation, and this is my number of layers. So height, you can also call your layers. This could be the bottom of your M&M container, and this is how many layers you have. Okay, so that's your equation. You could just do base. So we can have this one. This is an area times height. So this one times height. And that is your equation for volume. Okay, this is your equals volume of a cylinder. Volume, oops, I forgot my equal sign. Equals volume of a cylinder. Okay, so this equation needs to be on there somewhere. Volume of a cylinder. Okay, there it is. Let's do one example so we can see what it looks like. Okay, so here's my cylinder that we're going to use example number 1. Okay, so we'll call this example number 1. Okay, so here's my equation, area of a base times height. I'll do area of a base in red. My base is pi times r squared. That's 3.14 times my radius of 4. So times 4 squared. That's 3.14 times 16. 3.14 times 16 is 50.24. 50.24. That's my base. I did just this section right there. That's what I did. Okay. So I'll multiply this times the height. Okay. Times the height, and the height is 8. There's my height. Right there. There's my height. Okay. So this 8, I'll just do 50.24 times 8, and I'm done. 54 times 24 times 8 is equal to 401.92 centimeters cubed. Okay. Here are your summary questions. The summary, actually the questions, your focus questions are really good questions, so I use those, and I'm hoping that the M&M skills are transferring over pretty well. Questions, what doesn't make sense? What's a good question that someone else might have? And make a good test question. Maybe I'll use yours on the test, and you already know the answer.